Young women have been growing up with an indoctrination of what womanhood is and what it should be. They've been taught everything that is in direct opposition to the Word of God. Young women who want to be different from the world are rare, but they are real. Join Audrey, often alongside her daughter Graciana and daughters-in-law Kesed and Maureen, who desire to be discerning in a day when everything seems to go against God's design. And now, here's Audrey.
Welcome back to the second part of my conversation with my granddaughters, AudreyKate and Ruth. So let's move and talk a little bit about womanhood. So what messages do y'all think the world gives to you? And I'm talking about your age range.
Specifically.
What are you going to say?
Like our age range.
Yeah, your age range about beauty and appearance. And, because this is when I was your age, there was no social media. There was no being camera ready 24/7. There was no, we took pictures a lot. And my mom was in her generation, she always had a camera and always had a video. She was always taking it. But it wasn't like the instant thing. It wasn't always being ready. You go through and look at my pots and we're like, like crazy photos.
Yeah.
But with that, there's pros and cons with that. Yeah. Because with that, it's like always wanting to look your best. But then I also know that there is a trend towards people, or I say this, y'all can correct me if I'm wrong since I'm like way older and might not be up on things, but the trend of like being more transparent and not always being camera ready. Yeah. So speak to that in terms of the messages that are sent to your age. Yeah. Because when I was your age, I was all into getting back then it was like fashion magazines and it was like beauty tips from pages of magazines and all that kind of stuff, but it wasn't like it is now.
I think no matter what generation you are, there are always like people who you're gonna be like, oh, I want to look like that person. But I think it's especially hard because a lot of the people who right now you're like, I want to look like that person, that's their job to look like that. So they spend thousands of dollars every year getting their nails done, their hair done, plastic surgery, Botox, eyebrows done, lashes done. And we're like, oh, I want to look like them. Girl, that's not realistic unless you want to be broke for the rest of your life like me and AudreyKate.
Maybe that's what we need to
And I think also, so because we've noticed how far the pendulum has swung way, people on social media, I think, are now trying to correct that and be like, wait, guys, I'm sorry, this is not realistic. And I appreciate that. Yeah, I think that's important to say, no, this is not what a regular person looks like. This is a person who is paid to look like that.
Yeah.
And I think that's important to remember. And even some people are naturally gorgeous, but everyone, and this is going to sound so cringe and everyone's going to be like, get out. But everyone is beautiful in their own way, genuinely.
But that's true.
You have amazing hair and eyes, and Emma has amazing style, and your eyes are really pretty too. And everyone just has multiple things going for them. And so when did we decide that person has one more, that we think that person has one more thing going for them? So we've decided what I have, what God has given me, it's not good enough, and I need something else.
Yeah, yeah.
And I would say a lot of it is you want to be perceived in a certain light, and it depends on who you are and your style, but, you go on Pinterest, and it's oh, I want to be like this, I want this aesthetic, and, to get that, you almost constantly have to be, what am I wearing? What do I look like?
What am I wearing? What is my
makeup fine? Is my hair done? Is my jewelry fine? Is my shoes?
Nails are not it
Shoes
today.
are a big thing, I would say now.
Shoes are a big thing now. I haven't really popped onto that trend because I'm I'm already broke. I can't spend more money on
but
shoes.
If you your shoes, I feel say a lot now about
they say a lot about a person.
So it's a lot of it is that, and because
you have cute ones.
Yeah, yours are cute, but because
AudreyKate's are my favorite, but those used to be Ammas, so technically they're Ammas. That's what it says about Amma.
But basically, I would say is now because everybody's it has to be perfect. We're all
Everything has to be
perfectionists.
I know. Well, you know, and
That sounds
the
so weird, me
biblical
saying that.
principle there obviously is God, man, you know how people say, man looks at the outward appearance, God looks at the heart. Yeah. Well, it's true. God does look at the heart, but man does look at the outward appearance. And we know the Apostle Paul says you want to be all things to all men in order that you may win some. So it comes to the thing of us as believers, the balance there of being all things to all men, not being super sloppy, not being so like, I don't care about how I look because God cares about the heart, but neither should we be like, that's all we care about is how we look, where we're dumping, as y'all have already said, dumping thousands of dollars. I mean, and I'm talking about excess. I'm not talking about
You're
like
not
just
like,
normal.
You got a curling iron, get out.
Right. There's, in all things moderation of living in the times that God's placed you. I mean, you mentioned Esther earlier. We know, and I know she was in a worldly environment and she goes, but there's still like those girls in that time were being with the best oils and the best skincare and all those kinds of things. We know throughout Scripture that God tells us like the different women, like Sarah and other women, they were beautiful, and Rachel, they're beautiful of both form and face. God made women to be beautiful. So, and he also says he wants women to adorn themselves. He says, I want them to adorn themselves, but he just adds with properly, with discreetly and modestly and those things. But the whole concept there that he teaches that women, God made women to be beautiful and attractive to men and attractive in general. There's a softness about us. There's a way about us, and God wants to enhance that, but he doesn't want us to go overboard on that.
Yeah, and I think it all comes back to who are you trying to please?
Of course.
And a lot of people are like, I want to please myself.
Sure.
Girl, you don't want to please yourself.
Sure you do. Also, it doesn't matter, ultimately, it doesn't matter what other people think, what you think about yourself. The only thing that matters is what God thinks about you.
And where it was the one, go ahead.
And that's also that is 100% true, but that also is hard to be like, well, I'm pleasing to God the way I am, when it's like, it's
totally hard.
Yeah, and it's also I have to take care of myself, but what's the balance between taking care of myself and putting that first
Setting
in my mind and being okay, I'm going to have a strict routine, a strict eating plan. It's also God gave us life to enjoy.
Yeah.
And God gave us our bodies to enjoy life and to don't go on the couch and eat 10 donuts, but also I don't know. Everything in moderation. But also it's you can you're allowed to enjoy food.
God
it's not one lettuce piece a day,
and it's also not.
Well, and you think about it, there's so much in the Bible about fellowshipping around the table.
Yes, for
and the
sure.
marriage supper of the Lamb. But keep going.
Yeah, and there's also a balance between food for fun and food for
nourishment.
We talked about this in school last year. It was oh my goodness, we did at least 5 weeks on food. It was insane. But a lot of it was food for fun and food for nourishment. And it's food is fun. No food is bad.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But everything in moderation.
Now, wouldn't it be a good Bible study or word study just to do every reference to food in the Bible? Because you could talk about manna. You could talk about, and even remember how they grumbled about the manna, and then God said, and they wanted meat, and then he said,
I feel whenever I think about that, and I'm I complain about having a different thing of food every night, trying different things. Imagine if I had been in the wilderness with manna. I would have been I just think about that and I'm so convicted. I'm I don't want salmon. And then I'm they had to eat the same thing for months.
Yeah, and it was what God provided and had for them. And you know how 1 Corinthians 10, this would be a good study too. Because when Paul is writing and he says, he lists this whole big long list about the Israelites and don't be like them. And one of them is, they were grumbling in the wilderness and they were complaining and all this. And one of the biggest things we know from Scripture is they complained about the food that God was providing. And like you said, Ruth, it's so convicting because not just how we complain about food, but how we complain about everything. And then we complain about,
I don't like this and I don't like that.
Yeah, and that's why, too, Psalm 139, such a great psalm, talking about all this, because God, we're fearfully and wonderfully made. Mm-hmm. God wove us together in our mother's wombs, and we are to take care of our bodies, but we're not to just go overboard. Boy, we could do like hours.
We could do hours.
This keep going for a while.
What's the kind of woman you admire? And and what do you admire? Like when you look at the, and when I say older generation, I know you're 15, but I'm thinking, okay, in their 20s, in their 30s, I mean, or even much older, like.
I would say the work ethic. We were talking about this the other day on the beach, how Gen Z is sometimes rightfully, not always, categorized or stereotyped as the lazy generation. A little bit of Gen Alpha too, but just
we'll get to
some
that
of the
later.
blame off. But like we are generally as a generation, thank you, couldn't remember the word. We're just like, we just want to go get our $21 Air One smoothies and sit on the beach and not work for it. Like that's just what we want to do. And I totally just wish I could do that all the time.
Both separately sent a reel, saw a reel that was like constantly asking her mom for more money, and we were like, oh wait, that's us.
We don't be like working for it. That's why we're so broke. We're Gen Z.
Yeah, and also there's the urge to just like spend your money.
Consumerism. It's just like, if I just had like the plastic click clackers and I can put all my fancy makeup in it, like life will be good. And it's like, okay, you get that dopamine rush for like maybe 5 seconds, and then you just go back to wanting more and more and more and more. So I would say one thing that I would hope to get from the older generation is their work ethic, and then something I need to work on is being thrifty. And I've noticed like my dad, my mom, like other older people are good at this, just like, what's the most bang for my buck, or like just finding things, whereas I'm like, well, this one has really cute packaging, so I think we should get this one.
Yeah, or it's like the $90 aloe shorts.
Yeah.
Guys,
disclaimer,
I'm not just saying that. Like, I do have them. Like, I'm not saying that, like...
That's
I'm
wrong.
I don't even know what those are. What are aloe?
It's like the new Lululemon.
The new Lululemon.
Okay.
And it's worse quality, and it's...
Worse quality, you said?
Yeah, it's worse quality and more expensive.
But the brand is called Aloe. We're not paid by Aloe, by the way.
Yeah, we're not sponsored, folks.
I'm saying that because I don't want it...
great brand.
Yeah, I don't want it to be like, oh, well, she doesn't have the shorts, so you can't
do that. Yeah, like, that's not what we're saying.
Yeah,
sure.
And I'm also saying, like, I'm telling you I have them, so you know, like, oh, she's not, like, saying that because she doesn't have them.
Bragging, like, AudreyKate.
No. But I'm saying, like, also it's like there is that temptation.
Who knows? You could have gotten them at a thrift store. You know, talking about being thrifty. But go ahead.
Hopefully nobody's thrifting them, but you know.
I said this was going to be a fun podcast. Keep going.
Yeah, also I look up to the older generation's hospitality. Oh. Because I like go over to like my friends' parents' houses and I'm like, wow, y'all guys like really go out for hospitality, which is great, but it's like I come in, I smell like food, the house is immaculate, like, and I'm not, it looks lived in, okay, guys, like we're not here in our like, you know, but, and then there's like the whole, like food's set up, like people, like
they just
the
want
older
you to
people
feel welcome.
Yeah.
You want
like,
my house, like people come into my room and it looks like a rat's nest and everyone's like, you can't sit on the bed, you have to sit on the floor. It's white.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
And also it's like, I think Gen Z were both mostly like, oh, well, is what I live in not good enough for you? Like, you know, it's mostly like, well, you can deal with the mess. Like, you also have a mess. Like, it's kind of more like, oh, like, come in, it's fine. While, like, I feel like millennials and, like, the older generations are like, no, like, we need to
like
prioritize other people's, like,
selfless.
Not, like, opinions, but, like, also, like,
we want them to feel comfortable.
I'm not quite following. You're talking about
I'm not quite following.
into your home and not
we're saying with Gen Z, it's like, well, is what it is, come in anyway.
Yeah.
As opposed to
like, hey, like, we're gonna clean the house, we're going to make sure the rooms are clean, the beds are made, and we're gonna have food. Which
except sometimes when your parents are like, let's clean the house, and they're like, I noticed a speck of dirt under your bed, like, are the guests gonna be like, I'm gonna go check under Audrey's bed real quick just to make sure
nothing's like, you know,
hiding under the
bed. That's good. And, you know, I mean, that's good. Anything else you want to say about that before we move to the next question? Okay. What do y'all think? This is kind of reversing course because we already talked about this a little bit, but what do you think modesty means beyond simply what someone wears?
Humbleness.
The message you're sending to the world. I think a lot of people, like, you see people wearing weird clothes and the message they're trying to send out, like, I don't know. Like, obviously, there are some things where it's just like, yeah, style. If you like that clothing, then, like, cute, go for it. But sometimes it's like people are intentionally, through the things they're wearing, sending out a message. Like, this is who I am and this is what I will do. So our job as Christians is what we're wearing. It's to glorify God and to, like, shine his light ultimately. And so we want to make sure that we're not sending off the wrong message with our clothing.
And also, like, wearing what's appropriate for the occasion. Like, I know I like athleisure and, like, wearing, like, athletic clothes to places. And, like, I'm going to use this as an example from my life, is I was going on a trip with my friend, and I was wearing those aloe shorts and, like,
not
a
sponsored.
top. It's not sponsored, but, like, you know, I was just wearing, like, casual. My parents were like, hey, like, you should put on jean shorts, or, like, you should, like, dress a little bit nicer. It was, like, not because it's, like, bad that you're wearing that.
Not that
but, like, just, like, in general, like, it's not immodest, but, like, you should, like, make sure to, like, present yourself.
Elevated.
And also, it's, like, dress, like, don't try and draw unnecessary attention to yourself.
Well, duh.
Like, duh. But, like, I was at the gym, and this guy, I've never seen this before, was wearing, like, a headband with, like, a chain. Like, he was wearing, like, this, like, he was wearing this headband, and it was, like, here and here. And he had this, like, chain that was, like, attached to both ends. And it was just, like, what's happening? And he kept looking in the mirror before sets.
I was at the gym. Like,
no, I was, like, barely doing anything, y'all. But, I was kind of like, that's, like, it's not, like, inappropriate, but it's also, like, it also is inappropriate for the occasion. Like, why are you wearing a chain around your head?
Things that unnecessarily call attention out of bounds, you know. Well, and talking about that, since I asked the question about, you know, simply beyond what someone wears, because as Christian gals, teenagers, adult women, when we typically when you hear talk on modesty, you're expecting someone to talk about what you wear.
Yeah, and also,
but of course,
modesty is an attitude as well, I would say.
That's right. Well, and I was just going to read from the Merriam-Webster dictionary. Modest means being humble about one's achievements, moderate in size or amount, and proper in dress or behavior. So it goes beyond just what we wear.
But it's like how you carry yourself.
That's right.
Yeah.
And you said humbleness, and it says personal attitude, humble, not bragging about your skills or success, being quiet and not wanting all the focus to be on yourself. That's modest. And of course, in terms of size and amount, being moderate, not too big, not too expensive.
Hashtag
I'm just reading
consumerism.
Not too much. And then, of course, in dress and behavior, wearing clothes that cover up well, and acting in a polite way that fits social rules. That's just the definition of the word modest. And so it should carry in every area of our lives, you know.
And I would say that's difficult when it's like you do need to say, like, you're in a position to, like, say your achievements because you need to. Like, of course, you know, like, let's say.
If you're applying for a job, you're not going to be like, well, I lived in a dump my entire life and I've never done anything, when it's like,
and also, like,
graduated from Yale and stuff.
If you're, like, say, publishing a book, like, you need to be able to tell people, hey, I wrote this book, this is what is good about it, and I worked very hard. Like, you need to be able to say that, because, and you also, like, it's hard to determine the line on what
of
is,
being like, this is what I've done, and, like,
Well,
you know me.
Well, I understand what you're saying, because if you have convictions and you believe in something and you believe it will benefit others, it's okay to quote unquote stand up for it. For example, I'll just do a personal example. Like, since I've had this podcast now for almost 5 years, and I hear from women.
Happy 5 years.
Almost 5 years. It's hard to believe.
It's pretty crazy.
But I hear from women how much it's helpful to them. So should I be like,
it's nothing.
I get the cards out, and I'm not like,
because
I don't care about branding. I don't care about, I want to help women. And I do believe in what the Bible says. I believe in how he's opened the door for this. So I believe in it. And so I give it out and say, this podcast would really help you. Yeah. Like, what you're going through, what you just talked, there's several episodes on that from the scriptures, or, my daughter-in-law spoke to that on the podcast. You should listen to it.
Your granddaughters spoke to it.
Your teenage granddaughters might enjoy listening to just some other teenage, as I believe in what we're doing here. So I think that speaks to what you were saying. Like if you've written a book and you're like, God help, you trusted the Lord with that and he helped you. It's not being a braggart. Yeah. But if you're just out there, it's one of those pendulum things, and
where it's like you don't want to swing either way.
Yeah, and you want your heart, if your heart's in the right place, it's okay to believe in what God's called you to do, to know your calling, to know how God wants to use you in the universe and where He's placed you. Yeah. What is something that your parents have taught you that you hope you never forget? If you could summarize, and it could just be something that comes to your mind, like something your dad said or your mom said, or just one thing that just comes to your mind. I mean, I can think of things as, at my age, of things my parents taught me that stuck.
Yeah. I have like two things. First, my dad always says all glory is fleeting. Like,
I was going to, go ahead.
But like all glory is fleeting. Like, everything you do in life is like not going to make
it doesn't have gospel work value. It's not gonna make a permanent dent in your life,
or in the world.
Yeah.
And also, like, what you do and say reflects upon your name.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm saying your name because it's like, oh, you're Ruth Brogy. Yeah. And if you do something wrong, not saying if you, let's say you like steal something, then it's gonna be like, oh, the brogies, the
thieving brogies.
The thieving brogies. Like,
I love how you used my last name. No, I'm just kidding.
My last name. No, we understand. Yeah,
but like, it's like your actions reflect not only upon yourself but upon your family.
That's right. That's right.
I would say for me, my dad always says, don't let, what's the verse where it's like, let another man's lips praise you, not your own. Because growing up and still now, I'm a little prideful sometimes, not gonna lie. And I remember, like, I have specific instances of just like my dad telling me that, because I would do something and it would be a it would be a very good thing to do. And my dad would be like, that's great, but like, you can't just be flaunting that everywhere, because that's like, you need to let other people like bring attention to this, not yourself. I still remember like my 8-year-old self taking out like the recycling can, being like, I'm gonna do this without being asked, and having like an internal battle, like, I want to tell my mom, but no, I won't get treasure in heaven if I do that. Yeah, these things that like stick with you, and you're like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, well, that's a good one though. Let another praise you and not your own lips, because that speaks to all of us in terms of how we want people to notice and pat us on the back and all that. But God sees everything. You know how the Hebrew says God is not unjust to forget all the work that you've done, because He sees, and He sees it all. He sees even the things that no one ever noticed that we did if we do it for Him. So those are great. Let's see. What is one family tradition that you hope to continue someday?
I mean, this is on a pretty light note. I'll let you go first, because you look like you're ready to talk.
Oh, okay. So I would say one thing that my mom has always done since like I can remember is we would always memorize a chapter of scripture together, like throughout whatever. We'd do like a few verses a week, or maybe a verse a day, and we would do Bible study in the morning. So especially when I homeschooled, like literally every day, even in the summer, like right now, while I am 14, and we just every morning
15,
we come, soon to be 15, we come to the breakfast table at like 10 o'clock. We're late wakers. And we'll come and we'll do Bible study, and we'll memorize a chapter of the Bible, and then we'll pray for like a foreign people group who haven't heard the gospel. And that has just made a very big impact, because I've realized that that's not like something a lot of people do with their kids, which is growing up that way, you just don't think about it.
Right.
And I'm super grateful to that, because that's helped me, like, their faithfulness and dedication to raising us that way has helped me, like, no, I'm going to do my quiet time. Like, I'm tired and I want to go to bed, or, oh, I don't want to wake up 20, 30 minutes earlier. Like, I really don't feel like doing that today, but being like, no, this is God's word. And so I think my parents have really helped me with that. And I hope when I'm a parent, I'll be doing Bible study and memorizing scripture with my kids every morning.
Wow, that's so good.
Yeah,
That's
and
so
I would.
good.
Yeah, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I would say like my parents pray for us every night. Like
I thought yours was on a lighter note.
Well,
You had to adjust
well,
it.
I actually do have one more that's like more lighter. But like my dad, like Patrick, my brother, he won't go to sleep unless my dad has come up and prayed for him, which is super
Because
cute.
he wants that
He used to
prayer.
come when I would stay at
love
AudreyKate's house. He'll come into our room and be like, Dad hasn't come prayed yet. Like, where's Dad? And we'd be like, he's on his way up.
Oh,
We're like,
that's awesome.
And also like every Easter we do like, I don't know what you call them, but like they're like
Easter baskets?
No, they're like the bread.
The
and you
resurrection eggs? I love the resurrection eggs.
Yes, those. But also you put a marshmallow in the middle of the bread and then you bake it and then it comes out and the marshmallow has like melted, like symbolizing Jesus in the empty tomb.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh, I
Wait,
mean,
this,
if you know,
this
you know.
microphone?
You have to continue that.
It low-key smells like marshmallow. It might just be my lipstick that I've gotten on it.
Also, every Christmas or November when we come to Emma and Granddaddy's house, we do a family test. We do the family quiz. I always get like, if it's like it's usually like 120 questions.
Yeah,
and I get like 2
Granddaddy
of them right.
chooses like the most obscure one.
Like,
He's
it's like
when the wise men walked, did they travel over Siberia or Liberia? And I'm like,
or it's like when I don't know, like who was in this like a random name that like is like mentioned one time in numbers, and we're like,
you're like. And then of course Granddaddy wins.
Granddaddy's like, well, you know,
as we all know,
it's
this is quite an easy one. Like,
and we're like,
I love
and one of the
it.
uncles
I
always
love
wins.
It. You love that. Yeah. The
I would just
we're all the cousins are like, this year's the year, and we're like, and then we do it, and it's like an hour of like answering questions.
We always lose. It's okay though. It's fun.
Eventually,
It's fun. Yeah, it's very fun. It makes me think of
putting in a request
what we were talking about
for
earlier in terms of like preparing for the
easier
worship to
quiz.
pay attention in the sermon. When our kids were growing up, we used to gather in the living room on Saturday evening, and Granddaddy would go through his sermon with the kids to help them know what he's going to preach on. And some of those were some of the most lively things. And some of our kids, and I'll have to ask him, I didn't know I was going to be sharing this on the podcast today, but I just remember sometimes they would say something and Granddaddy would incorporate that into his sermon. They would bring up a point that's really good. I'm going to put that in, which was really great.
Yeah. Probably mostly my dad. The genes got passed down.
Then he would have them listening for certain things. Pay attention. I'm going to bring up that. I'm going to bring that up. And of course, and you know this, AudreyKate, since your dad is also a pastor. Sometimes too, there's the times when they say
kids.
stuff, and you're like, "Why did he say?"
Yeah.
But that's a hard thing. I'll just go ahead and be transparent here. Even I'm not a pastor, of course, but I do teach women.
Yeah.
And I just know when my kids were growing up, sometimes I would share something, and before I realized. This might be embarrassing. You're not thinking as a parent this is embarrass your child.
Has someone, a question for pastor's kid, has someone ever been like come up to you, like your dad said something embarrassing or used you as a sermon illustration, someone came up after and asked you about it?
Yeah.
Example.
I'm trying to think of a time. Okay, I'm trying to think of a time because I've specifically asked my dad, I'm like, do not
say that.
Like, don't use me in a sermon illustration. But there have been times like Truman. Okay, I'll give this example, which people come up and ask me about this too. Truman is a drink burglar, and Truman's my 3-year-old brother.
He literally
okay?
stole,
Like, okay.
I got a Dr. Pepper somewhere, and he, like, drank half of it. I was like, well, now I don't want it anymore.
Okay, so, like, if you leave any sort of drink out.
He's always goes,
that.
water.
I know
He
that.
always
Or
does
like,
that, and I'm
and he'll also be like it's your drink. You put it down. He's like, that's mine, and he'll take it.
Yeah, I keep
And what,
I
like,
like that, the drink burglar.
And like this kid is like, he's sneaky.
I remember he came, like, it was something, it's either Patrick or Truman. I think it was Truman. I was staying at y'all's house, and I come in, and Truman's in the pantry, just, like, by himself, eating snacks.
That is Truman. And he okay, yeah. So my dad was like talking and saying that he's a drink burglar, and after church, people are like, well, I heard about Truman, and I'm like, great.
Oh yeah.
Or like, I'm like,
I know, and the thing is as whether like your dad, your granddaddy, my dad, who was also a pastor, and then me just as a woman teacher.
Yeah.
That's something that you don't think
about.
You're not thinking because they're little.
Yeah.
And or even if they're 10, you're thinking this is going to embarrass them. And for me personally, I remember a time when I shared a story, and I had to apologize to my child. It wasn't anything. Adults get it. Adults, nobody's like,
nobody's
it wasn't anything terrible. But I'm just saying, I'm saying, but that child, it embarrassed them.
Yeah.
But at the time, they probably don't even remember it now. But I'm just saying at the time, and I
They'll
just
have
kind
to
of
ask
scrubbed it. I never used that illustration again. I used it that one time, and I thought, I should have. But God used it in my life, and He does it in. It's the same type of thing. Sometimes it doesn't have to be like a pastor sharing or public speaking. But
trust me, my mom's an oversharer.
Or sometimes
she will like share stuff sometimes where I'm like,
they're talking about their children with other moms and saying they did
they
stuff.
Think it's
and then
funny and like not a big deal.
And that's a lesson. And y'all now, when you're parents, you'll remember and think I need to be careful in terms of what I share about my kids.
Yeah.
And because you want to protect that. And you want to be transparent, but you also want to protect.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, I don't have like a more specific example, but if it comes
you're not
to me,
forgiven.
I'll share it. But yeah, and I've also I don't know. I've also shared stuff that's like one of my siblings will come up to me and be like, how dare you?
How dare you?
Like, because
when you admit that you did something that you said you didn't do in front of your siblings, and you're like, oh.
I also I have a sense of humor, so it's like I joke around, and then people actually take me seriously and approach that sibling and are like, ha ha, whatever. And I'm like, whoa, that was a joke.
Yeah.
And then that sibling is like, now they all think I blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yo, it's okay. Not to my sibling, but to the person I told, it's chill out.
Yeah. Well, as we bring this podcast down to a landing, I want to ask a couple of questions. One of them is, when you think about becoming an adult later on, what excites you about that?
House.
Driving.
I'm so excited to design my house. I'm sorry, it's going to be so on point.
That's okay.
It's going to be,
I'm excited to go to your house.
Okay. What?
I said I'm excited to go to your house.
Okay, so you're having that's a
I want to design it. I think it's going to be so fun.
The home you grew up in, but you want your own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally can relate to that. And
driving will be nice.
Technically, I'll be able to drive in a year, but
not in Maryland. I won't.
Still, but you're talking about when you're.
But I'm saying
on your own.
I can have a car, I can drive places, and I'm not like, Mom, I want to go hang out with my friend.
Right. Yeah.
And also I don't know, just having more freedom to be oh, I have a job, because now I feel the only jobs right now
only jobs 14 and 15 babysitting.
Start your own business, which is gonna be very hard to do, and you're gonna be working your butt off, or it's babysitting, and it's everyone has the babysitting jobs.
Yeah, or the parents are if you could just babysit for 24 hours and you're like,
I'm like, without pay. You're
Okay,
like,
now these are some lively either or questions, okay? These are
Some lively.
these are rapid fire, okay? Okay. I'll go Ruth, AudreyKate. I'll point at you, okay? Quiet time in the morning or at night?
morning,
night,
Okay. Read the Bible or listen to it?
listen,
read,
Okay. Worship music or silence?
worship music.
silence,
Oh. One close
You're not
friend or a large group?
One close friend.
one close friend.
Okay. And I know that there's
Yeah,
that there's
there's-
carryover, but just, yeah. Okay. Ask for advice or figure it out yourself.
Advice.
Advice.
Okay. Talk things out immediately or think first.
Immediately.
Immediately.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm surprised by that. Not because you're not like.
Well, it
but I
depends
feel like
on the
AudreyKate
situation.
normally like marinates and things
Because
and
I
kind of
marinate things a
internalizes.
long time. Well, actually,
what? You know what?
no.
I'm sorry.
I actually am more of a think about it because if something happens, like
She
let's say
doesn't,
people
like, immediately
like
jumping
I
in.
don't immediately jump at it. I can like stay there and I'm like, are you like in my head I'm like, no way,
which
they're
is not a
serious.
bad thing.
Which is
Like,
not a bad thing, but I
Low-key,
like
AudreyKate is better because she like thinks about what she's gonna say before she says it.
or
Well, let me tell you something. Just speaking to this issue that y'all were talking about this, I'm going to do. I've been asked a lot about this.
Yeah.
Because you know how the phrase "you're overthinking it" is very
I
common.
hate it when people say that.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to do a whole podcast on that. Like, what is
I'm an
overthinking?
underthinker.
What?
I said I'm an underthinker.
Yeah.
Please
I
include
wanna
me
talk
on
about
this.
it.
I want to
Overthinking,
talk about this.
Underthinking, thinking biblically. I'm going to do
Yeah.
a whole podcast on it because I've been asked about it a lot. Because
Yeah.
you just
That's a good
said-
title.
Okay,
You just said
yeah.
that you hate it when people say that because it's said so much today. You're overthinking. Don't overthink it. And so, but
I mean, also, I feel like
underthink
with
it.
women, it's very, or like young girls, it's very common to underhandedly say something offensive.
Yeah.
And it's like, you actually do need to think about that and what was their meaning behind it? What was the context of the situation?
Yeah, because they could have legitimately
They could have
not meant
legitimately not meant it, or it could have.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm the person who's like, stands there and is like, wait,
AudreyKate
what?
will think about it. I'll be like, I'm gonna come after you now. Let's go right here.
no, no, that's good. I'm glad that brought a little lively conversation because I think, and I just think it's such a good topic because the Bible tells us all the time to consider, to think, to
Yeah.
ponder, all those things. But then when does it cross the line where you
Yeah.
are where you're really
Yeah, and
illuminating to a
Ruth is better at this than me. I am the person who is afraid I'm going to sound offensive and say something I shouldn't, and then I don't say something when I go back and I'm like, oh my goodness, I cannot believe I did not say something.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Yeah.
Ruth is like,
And then, but sometimes I'm too.
Well, there you go. There's strengths and weaknesses to both, which, and I might have to get y'all on this podcast.
yeah, I want to be
Jot
on
down
it.
notes. Every time someone writes me an email or they send me, a question,
Yeah. You
go
think
in
about
my
it for a-
notes. I go in my notes and jot down as God brings things to my mind of bullet points.
Yeah.
Like when I do a
yeah.
podcast on it, these are the bullet points. And so when I got I've gotten several, and also when I get several questions around the same topic, then I put those together, and then
Yeah.
I think, okay, I'm gonna cover this because obviously not enough women are
Yeah.
talking about it. Okay, memorize a verse or journal about it.
Memorize.
I would say memorize. I don't have a lot. I
don't journal a ton.
I don't journal a
should.
ton either, but if I see a specific verse, I do like to start in my Bible and memorize it. But I'm not an active, I should be more of a memorized person than I am.
Would you rather have someone, well, this is a hard question. Would you rather have someone encourage you or correct you?
No one's
Encourage
gonna be
me.
like, I want to be corrected and slapped across the face.
No, I wanna be
encouraged. Encouraged.
Yeah, of course. Of course. And many times when you're encouraged, if the person's not flattering, but they're actually encouraging you, it ends up taking care of some of the areas where you need correcting.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's so
and also
true.
if you're feeling discouraged about something and someone's like, hey, I want to help
Correct you.
No, encourage.
Well, I just know this in child training, bringing up children. If there's something that if you praise, and I'm talking about little children, you praise them for things they're doing well, it makes them want to do more well.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Did I cut you off? Were you?
No,
No.
you didn't.
Okay. Would you rather be known as being kind or courageous? Of course, you want both.
Courageous.
I guess kind, because I need to work on being less courageous. AudreyKate needs to work on courageous. I need to work on kind.
Yeah, okay. I'd rather be known as somebody who, like, is out there being, like, I don't know, like, my writing mind is, like, in the worst case scenario, the world's falling apart. Is like,
AudreyKate wants to have that main character moment.
She always says this, and I'm like,
true.
Stop!
Like,
I'm an actor.
I don't get
no, the main character means like I'm the main character. Like,
I never say that.
I'm rescuing everybody. Sure, she doesn't.
This comes to the good sense of humor.
And Ruth is always like, I'm going to be the side character.
Okay.
No, I'm not.
Okay, we started the podcast with y'all saying what you appreciate about each other. Let's kind of end there. Okay. What do you think, first to you, what do you think AudreyKate is especially gifted to do?
Okay, so
I want to hear this.
Job-wise, this is probably not what you're going to want to hear. But I think I
want to hear. I like hearing
your opinion. What you
creative.
Think?
So I would say I'm trying to think, because there are a lot of jobs like that.
I can
it's hard
help
to
you.
Be creative. I mean, I think she's definitely more academically creative, if that makes sense. So whether that's, I think she could be a good editor. Like, she could see things, and I think she'd be a good editor. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that. I also am a writer. So did I tell you I sent my manuscript? Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah, I relate to that, writing, and then but I like someone else to edit it.
Yeah.
To make sure it's smooth.
I hate editing my own work. Yeah. That's the problem. Yeah. I hate editing my own work. I know. It's really annoying.
I hear you.
It's perfect. It doesn't need anything.
You're right. Like, I think that's good. I would say Ruth could be a good, and I don't know if when you hear this, you have to tell me. I think you'd be a good counselor.
That's what I want to do.
Yeah, I think you'd be a really good counselor.
Thank you. So what's one? Okay, well, I guess these kind of go things like
you can.
One word. What's something you've learned from AudreyKate that you take away? Think when I'm around AudreyKate, I'm better at.
I'm selfless.
Okay, when you're around Ruth, you're better at.
There's so many I'm thinking. Like, I'm sorry, I have a word. Okay. I'm like finding the word.
No, it's okay.
Discipline.
Done.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'll take it.
Now, and then I'm going to ask two more to each of you, and then, because there's so many. I have so many here, But Ruth, you just fill in the blank. One area where I need to trust God more is...
school. I need to work on just not being so, and I'm not even that person who's hyper focused, I must have an AA plus, but when things, I feel sometimes when things don't go, when I feel things are out of control academically, I just get so worked up about that, and it's no, you're fine,
So maybe an anxiousness.
Yes, anxiousness.
Yeah, and a good thing to do with any area of your life that you see as a struggle, find every verse in the Bible that speaks to that and start.
I love, someone told me one time that whatever you are the most anxious about, you trust God with the least.
Yeah.
So just true. Looking what am I most anxious about? What am I trusting God the least?
I agree with that sentiment. Okay, one area where you need to trust God more is
relationships. And circumstances that seem out of my control, especially with other people. And when things seem hard, where I'm this is interesting. Look, I'm going to say interesting. This is weird. Trusting God and saying, okay, this is his plan.
Okay. Oh no, that's good. And then this is the last thing. This is how we're going to close. I keep moving away from my mic. I hope it's
picking up stuff.
Yeah. I keep leaning over here. See, and I'm not on camera, so,
Yeah.
One truth from Scripture, Ruth, that you really want to hold on to for your life.
I would say that this is...
if you just said kind of a life verse, a life thing that God always brings to your mind. A life thing?
Well, I would say, I don't know if this is necessarily for my entire, but I love God's care for people who are not immediately important or seem very background, just even with women, especially, like reading about the woman at the well, like the Samaritan, like he reaches out and he reaches out to the people who are not the high people,
like the world
or
overlooks.
the people, or the one that the world looks at, and just how he chose to come in like a very he humbled himself, and just his humility and care for others.
Yeah, I would say I memorized a verse like 3 years ago. That's kind of been like one that stands out in my mind. Like, you are a chosen 1 Peter 2:9. Like, you're a chosen race, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, people for his own possession, that you may proclaim the excellencies of him who called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. Like, thinking like, okay, I'm chosen by God for a purpose, and like through him I can complete that purpose.
Yeah, that's really good. That's really good. And mine, if I guess I could share mine. Yeah. Mine is always John 14:21. That's one I always come back to. Who has my commands and obeys them, he is the one who loves me. And he who loves me will be loved by my Father. And I too will love him and show myself to him. Yeah. I love that because it always brings me back to, if I belong to Christ and I know him, God has saved me, then if a truly saved person wants to obey him, that's a sign of, we don't earn his approval or his acceptance. We're not saved by obedience. But when you truly love someone, and when you are known by him, when he saved you, then you want to obey him. And then the more I obey him, that verse says, he shows himself. He shows you the next part. You know how sometimes people say, I want to know God's will for my life. Well, the way you know God's will is to obey him one step at a time, because then he shows you more. So that's where I think that phrase that I say all the time, obey what you know and you'll grow. I don't know everything, but I know some things. And if I obey the next thing God has shown me, then God will continue to grow me, and he'll show himself to me. But I love that. I loved both of those. So with the compassion part and that for you, and then knowing that you want to proclaim the excellencies of the Lord. So good. Well, this has been so fun having y'all.
Thank you.
So fun. Thank you for watching.
Yeah, it's been lively and robust,
no one's watched
and
it.
Serious and funny and all those things.
Catch Audrey and her daughter Grace Anna live at Share the Arrows, a women's-only conference hosted by Allie Beth Stuckey. Grab your tickets now at sharethearrows.com. If you enjoyed this episode of Rare But Real, share it with a friend. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. Follow Audrey on Instagram and Facebook at Rare But Real, and listen to all her messages on the Rare But Real app.